breaking the fourth wall.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Dirt Sheet Radio NXT post-show rewind for February the 27th, 2024. I am Tyler, the Pro Wrestling Hipster, at PW Hipster across the board, and the Pro Wrestling Hipster over on Facebook. Gentlemen, let's introduce ourselves and hop right into tonight's main event segment.
I mean, you know me, I'm here as always. We might as well let Matt introduce himself.
What's going on, people? My name is Matthew Wilson. I am also a co-host on 3T Wrestling, man. It's a privilege to be here talking NXT with you guys, man. It really is.
Yeah, welcome, man. Pleasure to have you.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And especially today, if you haven't had the chance to check out 3T's newest episode with Daniel Garcia, it's up now, I believe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dope interview.
Wonderful.
Dope guy, man. Talking about his incoming match with Christian Cage at AEW Revolution, Sting's last match. So everybody should see his match. So it was dope to have him on the show, man. It really was.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal episode. I loved every second of it. CJ Carter here as always. Looking forward to talking NXT.
All right. So tonight's main event segment, we had a contract signing set up between Carmello Hayes and Ilja Dragunov, and then was interrupted by the family. The Dom had things to say tonight, and got his way into the match. Gentlemen, what did you think of the proceedings and the interjection of the Don into this match?
I thought it was a nice swerve. You know, like I knew Trick wasn't going to be there until, I'm guessing, at least Roadblock, if not the week after. But the stipulation of Mello versus D'Angelo, winner gets the champ at Stand and Deliver, it feels like it's just kind of a convoluted way to get us to that triple threat that I've been heralding for months now.
Right.
It's not a bad thing either. Like I'm always gonna love seeing Tony D'Angelo on NXT. It just feels weird. Like not a bad weird, but it feels like they could be using him better or just differently, as opposed to just feeding him to Mello heading into Stand and Deliver. It doesn't have a lot of good momentum for the D'Angelo family, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Maybe they'll throw another curveball at us.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It did feel weird to me too. You could tell that they tried though by showing the power that D'Angelo has, like behind the scenes, I guess, with him snapping his fingers and the security guards going away, and even Ava getting up from the head of the table position and letting him sit there. So I think that was a dope move. I'm with you though. I don't feel like they just kind of need to feed him to Mello to get to the triple threat match. I think they could have probably did something a little different there. Maybe just go ahead with the match, have Trick interfere. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I would have booked it. But I think it's a good look
now
for
we
him,
have, because like now we have Roadblock without an NXT title match,
right?
So why? Just I get that you're
which does kind of go against
but...
it does go against Dragunov's character, as you know, he's someone that wants to defend at every opportunity he has to do it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm surprised Ilja didn't say, screw it, I'll take you both, you know, and set that match up for Deadline. And then, the week after have Mello come out and be like, I would have won that match if Tony didn't get involved. And that's how you set up the next match. I get not wanting to do two triple threats back to back, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But again, like it feels like they could be doing something different with D'Angelo. And we'll talk about it later, but I mean, everything that went down with Luca Crusifino tonight, that sort of indicates the direction that they're heading.
Right.
But I mean, I think D'Angelo did a great job in the promo, really held his own with everyone during it. But yeah, I do agree with you. It seems like an odd interjection into this. I don't quite know why they're doing it. I mean, my best guess is that they're wanting to move him into singles competition, maybe out of the tag realm, but otherwise I really don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what happens next week. And, they're, I've learned over the time, have faith in Shawn. He seems to know what he's doing down there. So, maybe the pieces will fit together next week. It's hard to say, but it does seem like an odd choice for sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're right. We'll just see it come together.
But anything else on the main event segment, or shall we hop around to the start of the show?
The fact that it ended with Carmelo Hayes standing tall, like Tony going through the table was an interesting choice too, because I get why you would want to have. Oh, but also, like, why did the security leave if Tony was paying them to be there? Why didn't they stick around and help him out?
Well, he just paid him enough to leave, not enough to take a beating for him. It's two different
Gotcha.
things. Yeah,
It was a show of
levels to
power instead of.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
But so the tonight's show opened up actually with Ilja Dragunov in the ring, so kind of connected to the main event segment here. And it is worth noting that Booker T is back tonight on the call from his medical hiatus. So shucky ducky quack quack, we got the Bookman in the house. Booker T, second pro wrestler I ever met in my life.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, first was Glacier. It was an interesting. Yeah. Yep, Glacier. That's right. I met Glacier. He was cool. No, really though. He was no. But the second time I met Harlem Heat. But no, Glacier was the first one. So that's. I've said that to people. They're like, "Who the hell are you talking about?" I'm like, he looked kind of like Sub-Zero. It was a dumbass gimmick from. I don't even know who came up with that.
Yeah, you're like it's one of those like you had to just know who he was. There's no explaining to anyone nowadays who Glacier is.
No.
Right.
Awful gimmick. So sorry. I'm sure I'd like to say he's a swell guy, but I really don't remember what he was. I was like 11, so anyway. But so we had the opening segment with Ilja and Shrek kind of having a short run in and setting up for the main event segment that we saw tonight. Anything to the opening segment that you'd like to touch on, gentlemen?
I mean, it's pretty straightforward stuff.
We covered
talked about the
that.
effect that this had on the end of the show.
Yeah.
I do think that I just don't like Booker T on commentary.
Really?
Great wrestler, and I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the show before, because Soup was always a big fan of him. Shout out Young Suplex. But is non sequiturs and catchphrases and everything else that he does on commentary feels to me more like it's to hype himself up instead of like Trick Williams, for example. I saw a comment online the other day about how.
I was just because you were describing Booker T's commentary, and I was just gonna say you're literally describing Jerry the King Lawler, but I digress.
And I don't like Jerry on commentary either. Like I have that exact same problem with Jerry Lawler.
Yep.
Like
you're consistent, man. I'll give you that, brother.
Yeah. But I can see what you're saying.
I thought Byron Saxton did a fine job covering for Booker T. I wouldn't have a problem if they did Byron and Vic going forward. But I mean Booker coming back is good for the brand,
right? I mean, I like Booker for the most part. I think he's entertaining for the most part. But I will say, like, there's a few times a night where he'll have a line here or there where I'm just like, all right, man, like, think that one through a little bit better. Like, I don't know. Like, this was years ago in commentary. It was one of my favorite, like, kind of silly things he said. But he was describing Kofi Kingston. He just goes, man, Kofi, he's got legs, dog. I'm just like, yeah, Book, we all do. We all got legs, except for Zach Gowen. He got leg, but, like, we all got legs. Like, but like,
man. About first we go to Glacier, then we go to Zach Gowen.
We are hitting all kinds.
We're just pulling up. Yeah.
This is a banner night
late
for the,
90s, early
post
2000s.
show, yeah.
Next thing you know, we're just gonna be dropping WCW dud names left and right.
The ding dongs.
WWE dud names left and like. I was thinking about Kazarni the other day. Like,
oh God, Kazarni.
Mordecai. I think about Sin Bodhi on a frightening basis for someone living in 2024.
Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that, man. That one took me off guard. All right, so we had a quick backstage segment of Ava walking and Gigi Dolan approaching her, and this was setting up for Gigi's match with Jada Parker later tonight. Pretty straightforward there. Sorry. Oh God. So we had Kelani Jordan and Kiana James in the battle of names that are kind of similar yet somehow different. A pretty solid match. Kiana picks up the win in 8 minutes.
My bet was on the woman with KJ in her name.
Right, you knew it was going to happen. But Kiana picks up the win in 8 minutes and 15 with the deal breaker. I thought this was a really solid opener for the show. Well-paced match, solid. Everything looked pretty crisp and clean. Guys, what'd you think of tonight's opening bout?
Yeah, you take this one, Matthew.
Oh, I kind of actually missed this match. I saw like the end of it. It seemed like it was an okay match though. Yeah. So all right. Missed it.
I thought it was a great match too. Like it was, I thought the heat that the finish got was fantastic. Like the crowd was so into Kelani Jordan from bell to bell, and Izzy Dame being able to cause some interference to let Kiana James pick up the win is huge for everyone. Like Izzy Dame is getting over really well. With
she is.
Partnership with Kiana James, and Kelani Jordan still looks like $1 million even in a loss. So I think everybody's doing well here.
Was she okay? Was she okay after that nasty ass bump? Like I saw a clip of I didn't see the follow up. She got swept out on the apron, and they're still young, so I don't know if anybody told her that she should not take an actual full body bump on the fucking ring apron. So definitely
the hardest part of the ring.
I was gonna say, if Tony Schiavone taught me anything, it's the hardest part of the ring. Now we've referenced Tony Schiavone. This is a great night, guys. CJ, I have to agree with you. They're doing a great job with Izzy Dame. Like the night that she debuted, every single one of us is like, who the hell is this person? Why are they acting like we should know who it is and why we should care? And like they're doing a good job with her though. Like I'm impressed with it. Like again, we say this all the time, but NXT has the best women's division. They like just develop their talents spectacularly well down there. So it's exciting to see what they're going to do with it going forward.
Yeah, that's true though. I've seen like Tiffy Time and all stuff. Every woman that I see come up to the main roster lately seems like they're ready for whatever WWE has for them at the main roster. So
absolutely.
Which I really think just speaks to the quality of training that they get down in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's serving its purpose. It's the farm system. Yep. That's what it's supposed to do.
There exactly. He's doing a hell of a job down there. But
do they still have Finley down there?
I don't. Was he ever down there?
Like, are we talking Fit?
Yeah.
Fit or okay.
Finley is on the main roster right now. With he's like in charge of the ladies, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right. So he's on the main. Okay. I didn't actually know that. I was not aware that.
Yeah, I saw a story about him. I don't know where I saw it. I forgot where. I don't know if I saw it on Facebook or something. But or maybe it was like the older days. Maybe it was like because I heard he pushes them to be themselves a lot. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I did hear a story about him. So I was wondering if he was on NXT or if he. But I know he does deal with them though. I was trying to give him a shout out. My bad, Fit.
Hell yeah. But But hopping forward in the show, we had the Good Brothers making their entrance. They got a pretty big pop, which I was surprised about, honestly. Like that was
well, based on the attack from last week. Yeah, I thought they would be hardline heels.
That is a good point. That is a good point. But they made their entrance to face, Edris, Enofe, and Malik Blade. Pretty solid match here tonight. They went 5 minutes and 24 seconds. The Good Brothers pick up the win via the Magic Killer. Pretty good match. I was trying to think of the last time I remember seeing them in a full tag match that was on TV. Any idea the last time the Good Brothers were? Not just on TV.
They were still in good standing with AJ Styles, I'm sure was the last time they had a tag team match. I remember when they came back, they had the sort of handshake agreement that, hey, if you're not going to book us, we're not going to be here. So it's interesting to see them show up in NXT.
I have an answer for you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Their last match on television was August 18th, 2023. Wow. On SmackDown, they were defeated by the Street Profits. They had about 8 live event matches since then, and then they hadn't been seen at all since December.
Okay.
Because they're just in that storyline with AJ right now, right? Where AJ's kind of like shunning them in a way, which they kind of do deserve. I don't know if they kind of. AJ got jumped a few times and they didn't show up, so I don't. Of course,
they were on
AJ's bad graces
TV,
but yeah, I thought.
Well,
it was,
I mean, like,
go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I don't even think I had anything.
Yeah, I didn't really care too much to see him in NXT. Honestly, it was dope to see the pop that they got, and the match with Malik and Edris was really good to me. Like I want to see them two in the ring more. I think they have a lot more potential. But it's gonna be weird to see like it's the angle with AJ over. Like is the new signing that we saw today, is that the reason why they're in NXT now? Because he could possibly be going there to team up with them since they're on the outs with AJ. That's what I thought of when I saw them. But I guess we'll see.
I think I think they're going to pick up the AJ and Good Brothers thing after WrestleMania. I think they just want to focus on getting us to the show, and then after that, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But I did like Gallows' ring gear tonight, looking all dieseled out. That was pretty rad. Nice nod.
Carl
there.
Anderson didn't look like he was too happy to be there during their entrance. I don't know if that was just me or.
No, I caught it too. That? Yeah, in one of his promos, he was just talking, but he wouldn't look at the camera at all.
Interesting.
And he would just refer to Gallows. Like I caught the same thing actually. I didn't notice it when they came to the ring, but I noticed it backstage when they were talking. It didn't look like he wanted to be there at all.
Interesting.
No, the promo itself just kind of felt forced and flat.
Yeah.
Maybe he's mad to be down there.
Well, and I mean, it's weird timing, too, because in that same promo, Corbin talked about how good NXT had been for his career and rejuvenating himself into holding gold again. So I don't know why, like, even if it is just part of the presentation that he doesn't want to be there, or if it's genuinely he doesn't want to be there, why? Like, you have a storyline reason right in front of you, plus you have, like, legitimately has, like, we've seen the good that having main roster stars come down to NXT can do for their careers, but it doesn't, like, I don't know if, because I thought when they signed the first time when AJ Styles was right behind them, I thought they were going to go to NXT, and they ended up going right to the main roster. So maybe it was Carl Anderson has always thought NXT was beneath him.
Possibly. So there might be a little hot being sent down there. Or maybe they're just really healing it up. We'll see. We'll find out. If the attitude looks like it's going on here within the continuing weeks, then they're probably pissed off to be down there. But at the end of the match, we had Andre Chase and Duke Hudson appear up in the stands. And by the way, Andre Chase looks good again. He's well kempt. His beard is tucked in. His shirt is all, they are not all hang on. So he doesn't look like shit anymore, as he was told. So it's nice to see that, with his debts paid, he's, I guess, getting enough sleep or
less
whatever.
Stressed out.
Right. So it's nice to see. And so basically, the Good Brothers, the heels, get jumped by a whole bunch of faces, which seems a little backwards, but hey, whatever. It's what we did tonight.
I thought it was a weird name drop. Like, it felt like when Nathan Frazier was like, oh, a team like, I don't know, the LWO is going to attack you to your face. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, that felt too clunky. Like, I got what they were going for, but just a weird way to get there.
Yeah, I agree. That was, but it just shows that they got a lot of tag teams, so that's nice. It kind of displayed that. That's something. But moving on, we had Ava was on the phone, and Femi walked in trying to figure out who he was going to be taking on next, and had a stare down with Dragunov. Guys, what do you take away from this segment?
Holy cow! I did not know I wanted that match until I saw right in front of me. Like
they're putting a rocket. They're putting a rocket on Femi. Like,
which, I mean, Tyler, we talked about this basically since he debuted. Like, this guy just has it.
Yep,
so the fact that we didn't just inherently think that he was bound for a match with Dragunov at some point, like, that's it. It blows my mind how we could have completely missed that. And I feel like that's still not something we're going to see until further down the road just because of timing. But I am really looking forward to seeing that match.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and actually, they could probably have Isla be a challenger for the North American Championship. Because they're going to, they probably, I don't think they would go to a Ilja Dragunov Femi match until after Isla loses the title to Trick. So I could see
that's fair.
So I could see post Stand and Deliver. Maybe he would be his first big feud kind of post the WrestleMania Stand Deliver season.
Not his first though. Like I don't want Oba doesn't he's got a lot of momentum, but I don't think he has standing up to Dragunov momentum right now. He needs to get some more successful title defenses under his belt before he wants to have that.
Who do you see Femi defending against at Stand and Deliver?
Not Brooks Jensen. What the hell is that? We're skipping ahead here a little bit, but spoiler alert: Jensen tries to challenge him in a parking lot later on in the show, and
Holland Oates looking motherfucker.
And I didn't get it. Like, he has no momentum right now. Why does he think he's going to challenge Femi? No, and I get that's what they're setting up, so it is going to happen, but I honestly would have rather seen that match go to Josh Briggs.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But I think they're probably just kind of waiting a little bit longer to, start to push Briggs up that high. But yeah, like, why? Why Jensen? Like, it's just, he's not hot. He's quite chilly, actually. Like,
And have we decided what, whether Oba is a good guy or a bad guy? Because him going back and forth with Lexis King and then to Dragon Lee and then back to Lexis King and now to Brooks Jensen, like, I don't know if they know what they're doing with Femi. It doesn't scare me as much as if this was happening on Vince McMahon's main roster, but it still makes me a little bit nervous because they could easily derail Femi if they gave them the chance, and I'm worried that that's what might happen.
Do you feel like that's the reason why we got that stare off today, is because there's really nobody you can give Oba at this point? So you go ahead and you throw Ilja in there to just kind of be like, hey guys, we have this, just trying to be patient for a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just like, the way you reacted was the way I reacted, was like, oh shit, I didn't know I needed this match. And check this into my veins immediately, even though it shouldn't happen right away. I kind of feel like that's why they did it, because he was asking for an opponent and Ava didn't have any answers for him. She was like, well, everybody's coming for that title, so we'll figure it out. But I kind of feel like they're just trying to put him on a cool for right now, get past and deliver, and then they'll figure it out from there.
So you think it's like, hey guys, like, look, you're going to get this, but you got to give us 90 days or so to
that's what I felt it was.
That's it's going to happen, but hold up. It's just wait a minute. But I agree. That actually makes sense. Look, this will happen. You got to wait till after this season. It's almost like a preview of a coming attraction. It's a movie that's going to come out in 3 months.
Right.
But you're right. Oba, they need to get a little bit more experience with him. I don't know, what kind of house shows NXT runs. Do they run a lot of non-televised events?
They have in the past. I don't know if they still do.
Okay.
They do. They're actually very. If you're in the Florida area and you just want to see some future WWE superstars for $30 in a very intimate environment, they run a little house show loop down there in little small arenas. My boy George goes to the shows whenever he can.
Okay.
Do I remember correctly Ava saying, mentioning on TV in an interview segment that NXT was going on the road?
Yeah.
Or were they just talking about the premium live events?
Oh shit, they're touring? That's bold. I hope they run a bunch of cool little indie arenas. That'd be awesome. NXT in the Hammerstein. Let's fucking go.
This was also before Vengeance Day, so I can't remember if they were talking about just the fact that they were doing PLEs outside the Performance Center or what. I can't remember for the life of me.
CJ, I think you're right. I think I remember her saying that they were going to the road. I assumed to apply to the show in general, but I'm not sure. Maybe it was just the PLEs, but
the first event was an NXT live show in BC. I got to meet Shayna Baszler, Matt Riddle, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, which is, I love this, the picture that I got with Finn Balor, because the guy that was taking the picture took it when Finn was moving, and that was the only one he took. He took none for safety, so the only proof that I have of Finn Balor looks like he's mid-demon transformation.
Exactly.
That's dope though.
But they say it's hard to photograph a demon. It's they show up odd in photographs. It's just
True.
Yeah.
Some lore implications. I love it.
Exactly, right? but so our next match on the card featured Roxanne Perez taking on Jakara Jackson with Lash Legend at ringside. Perez picks up the win in about 4 minutes and 9 seconds via a crossface. I gotta say it's interesting. Perez has been leaning heel lately, and she had been using pop rocks to set up, which is a flashy, showy move. It's a babyface move, but she's been using it and then using the crossface to set up to make it a little more vicious. And this week, no pop rocks, just the crossface. So it's interesting to see her changing her in-ring style to match a new heel persona. And otherwise, I thought it was a good match. Again, good showcase of both women. Again, I say it multiple times every week. NXT has the most fantastic women's division in professional wrestling today. I think they're doing a great job with Perez's turn. And gentlemen, what do you think of this matchup?
Yeah, great match. I thought it was an odd confrontation to have. It makes sense that she'd be going against Jackson because, it's heel versus heel. But Roxanne had a problem with Lash Legend. Her stable mate came to her defense, so it makes sense that way. But I noticed too, Vic on commentary saying good things about Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. It feels to me like they are setting up the metaphor split already.
I agree, and when we talk about tonight's main event match, I think that has implications leaning that way. But I absolutely agree with the CJ 100%.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match too. Jakara caught a nasty shin to the face on a moonsault though. It almost got Jeff Hardy, but I noticed that. But other than that, I thought it was a great match. I love what they're doing with Roxanne Perez right now. The badass, I don't know what it is about. I'm a heel guy anyway, but it's dope to see Roxanne. If you say anything out the way to her, it's not going to be a sneak attack or anything. I'm gonna just hit you in the mouth right here and now.
Yeah.
So I think that's dope.
What did you think of a couple weeks ago, the promo that she had in Ava's office, where she was like, standing there cross-armed and almost like that pouty look up at like that. I said something to the effect of it's like the tantruming child sort of persona that is going to be her heel persona. Do you think that's a good fit for her?
I mean, she's playing it well to me for right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, we'll see where the development goes from here. I'm not sure if they're fully going to, like, because I think WWE's right now, what they're doing with heels, like, it doesn't feel like they're turning a lot of the new ones that are turning heel, like, fully heel. Like, they kind of, like, straddle that line a little bit. So I don't know if that's what they're going to do with her. But she definitely does look like a brat. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's where her heel persona is. And then, but at the same time, it's dope that they counteract that with, okay, she's being bratty, but she's still a badass. Like, she'll throw hands. Like, let's not get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I do like the character for it right now.
It's an interesting dichotomy to strike there. You're absolutely right, because it's like she is like typically when you have that kind of bratty character, it would be a chicken shit heel. It's like, I'm going to talk a game and then like, I can get my way out of it. But you're right. She's like, she's whiny, she's bratty, she's pouty, but she's going to bust your ass. Right. Like it's a very interesting take on a heel character. And the thing about her like being kind of like pouty and bratty, she is little. She's 5'1". Like she ain't big. Like she's she's barely at that third turnbuckle. Like it's a long way down for her up top. But like. But it's good. I like what they're doing with her. I think this might be the character that takes her up to the main roster eventually. I think they might actually be finding her her stride here.
I don't know that that's a main roster character for her. Like, I think if she grows into it, I think she can make it work. It doesn't work for me right now, but like I said, I prefer her as a face. I think it works. She plays it better, but then again, she's only been a heel for like a month, so I just gotta give it.
That's true. But I mean, that's kind of how I've always felt that way for the most part about Alexa Bliss. I've always preferred Alexa Bliss as a face. Now, part of that is because she and I went to the same high school. So, gotta, shout out to, I don't know her. She was there like 6 years after me, but we attended. We're from
still that hometown talent.
Yeah. And by the way, they bill her from Columbus, Ohio. We're from Hilliard. Okay. It's Hilliard. Be proud. Come on. Be like John Cena calling out West Newbury. He could have said Boston, but he said West Newbury. Come on, Alexa. Actually, when I've only ever went to one NXT show, and it was the first NXT show they actually did that wasn't like in the South, like or around WrestleMania. It was during the Arnold Fitness Festival here in Columbus, Ohio, and it's when Alexa was still like doing the fairy gimmick. Like so that that was
pre NXT heel.
Yeah, she got a huge pop here. Yeah, she was doing the fairy gimmick to kind of like date the show too. I'm kind of remember exactly. I don't remember what year it was offhand, but like Kevin Owens was a champion. He wrestled Alex Riley in one of the matches that night. Tyson Kidd was on the card. He was a tag champion. Cesaro was on the card. I think he wrestled Pac, or God, what was his name in WWE?
Neville.
Neville, yeah, wrestled Neville. Yeah. But anyway, digress. But
no, I mean it's great. We're talking NXT, and Matthew, you ever been to an NXT live show?
Nah, I've never been. And it's crazy. I just graduated from Full Sail, and I was mad about that. I didn't know they moved.
Wow.
So I was upset when I got there because I was like, oh, well, I'm down here. I'll get to catch an NXT show. No, I was super upset. I didn't do that. But yeah. No, I've never been to one. I'm definitely going to get a chance to go, though.
Shit, that's kind of similar to I had a buddy of mine that lived out in California for like almost like probably like 5-8 years, and he moved back. And he hadn't watched wrestling in a while. And at that time, I was watching a lot more indie stuff. Like that was like, when Steen was in Ring of Honor and shit. Mm-hmm. And I got him watching PWG. And we didn't talk a whole lot when he was in Cali. And I was like, oh yeah, like where were you? Found out like he was like 20 minutes from Reseda, and he had never heard of PWG. He was so fucking pissed because it's like he's like, I could have been going to these shows. He's like, I lived out there for like 8 years. But it's yeah, it's crazy. Gotta get to live shows when you can, guys. It's been a while. I haven't been to one since like AEW's third live show was the last live event I had been to. So it was like before, pandemic and all that. It's been a minute, guys.
My bad. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. I'd let y'all finish talking about the live event thing because I was gonna ask y'all a question about Roxanne Perez before we moved on. If you think of NXT in its current form as a school per se, and Roxanne,
bottom high,
as we call it, and Roxanne is really good at being a babyface, right? But I feel like she's struggling with getting the heel character across, if only because I don't know if it's anything that she's doing wrong but I look at like Io Shirai when she was in NXT. She had a really successful babyface run, but she found herself as a heel. When they turned her, she get the music, she get the leather jacket. They changed her whole persona, and that's been pretty much who she's been since then. Are we at a place with Roxanne where we can just accept that being a heel is just the wrong move for this particular person and character in pro wrestling? It doesn't.
Do you think it's just to give her the chance to do it? Like you said,
you kind of have to, yeah.
Like it is developmental, like just to see, how it goes and what she can do with it, see how it fits her. Because you're right, like but some folks are a better fit for one thing or the other. Like that's why, like Ricky Steamboat was a good guy the bulk of his career, or actually, I think the entirety. Was he ever actually a bad guy ever?
I can't remember a Ricky Steamboat heel anything at all. But I'm sure if I Google it early in his career, someone tried it.
Or possibly, I think, or Jim Duggan, except for a house show my buddy David went to when he was a kid where they had Jim Duggan turn heel. It did not go over well. Yeah.
Like Turn On America or like
fuck
Wood. I hate Wood.
No, I'm going to text him during this. I'll have an answer by the end of tonight.
Text Jim Duggan and ask him what the fuck he was mad about that night.
Funny enough, there's a promoter, Canada's Wrestling Elite. Shout out Danny Duggan. And yes, Danny Duggan. He was always like a hardline Canadian character. And then somewhere along the way, he changed his character up. He moved down to the States, and now he's like super pro-American. So when he does these Canadian events, he's repping the USA, and
that's what the internet will do to you these days. But yeah, no, I just wanted to ask about Roxanne Perez because I thought, okay, look, everything pro wrestling. Wasn't Duggan a heel?
The other comment,
WCW. Yeah. That's great. That's exactly how you would turn Jim Duggan heel. He fucking joins Team Canada. You son of a bitch.
Or he pulls a Sergeant Slaughter and starts wearing the the curly pointy boots and
It's the Captain America Hail Hydra thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, my point was if Io Shirai, using her as an example, found herself as a heel, and Roxanne already found herself as a babyface, and we're just trying the heel thing to see if maybe there's something even further, a level beyond, and they might there is.
Yeah, like if Io's first presentation in NXT as a heel didn't work, they may have just gone back to the drawing board and said, okay, let's try and reinvent your heel persona again. They may do the same thing with Roxanne Perez. Next thing we know, she just like shows up with like crow style face paint, and she's just all goth and edgy.
I just think some people and this goes for like men too, not in like a sexual way, but like some people are just too pretty. Like your facial structure is just not gonna allow me to take you seriously as a mean person. Like you look like you eat ice cream and you calm down. Like get out of here. Like anybody. It's not just Roxanne. I don't mean that as like at Roxanne. I mean like that's just a thing.
I actually kind of felt that way about Bobby Lashley. When Bobby Lashley first debuted and like cutting promos, when he would talk and be like, man, you just sound like so soft spoken and so nice. But like you're so big and scary, but like I don't believe you're mean. I feel like
I love Ashley.
Like, pick me up and spin me around.
That was in his Titantron back in the day. Was the word soft spitting, soft, spoken, hard hitting was in his Titantron back then.
Those were cards he had in the collectible card game Raw Deal. Shout out to anybody that played Raw
wild.
Deal.
What did you say? Soft spoken, hard hitting. What the fuck? What kind of wild? Not PG-13 shit is that?
2006.
That's
I was just gonna say Bobby Lashley. If he wasn't as big as he was, if he wasn't the size of a tank, he just looks like the nicest person ever. And even in his heel promos, he always looks like he wants to smile. He always looks like there's a smile hiding back there.
I struggle with Bobby Lashley being a heel too, man. It's weird for me.
But he's good. It's good because he's legitimately scary. Like he's the size of a fucking truck. So he could be as nice or as mean as you want, sir. Let me get out your way.
Yeah. But with the Roxanne thing, man, I think if that's the point where you're not really gonna believe that she's like she has like that mean streak in her, you know what I'm saying? That most heels do. The bratty thing makes sense.
Well, and I mean, like it worked for Alexa Bliss, the heel turn, like doing so it's not just that short people don't have that same sort of heel edge to them, or they're just like too pocket sized and cute to be heels. It it does work. So I think they may just need to tweak a couple things with Roxy's presentation, but otherwise, I still think she works better as a face. But like I said, I'm willing to give this heel run a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I gotta trust in Shawn to at least give him a shot when he thinks of doing something. So we'll see what they do going forward.
Yeah.
But we had a backstage segment with our weekly, pretty much backstage segment with JC Jane and Thea Hale and Jasmine Nix. So it turns out that poor Thea Hale, it didn't work out with her and Riley Osborne. They should just be friends. Told her that via text. I think that's rough. It's rough for the girl. It's hard. He's just not that into you. That's what happened to her tonight. Interesting. Beginning turn to the dark side for Thea Hale. Starting last week with JC Jane calling for her to, aid her behind the referee's back multiple times, not doing it, and then Jasmine Nix stepping in and bringing in the cheap shots last week. But Thea's starting to lean evil there. She has separated from Chase U. Chase U's dumb. They couldn't do it there for, I saved him. So it sounds like she's done with Chase U now. So she said, that version of you was a loser, not you now. So it's interesting. The kind of very slow burn, toxic heel JC Jane has been.
Man, I thought she was actually having fun with Chase U.
I did too. I'm angry. I was a little mad tonight because I'm like, no, I can't believe she's doing this because it seemed genuine. The calendar was so mild. Like I kept joking, calling it an OnlyFans, but like clearly it's not. Good God, the Amish show more skin.
Yeah, like why would she even have tried so hard to save Chase U if it wasn't? She could have sold the calendars on their own and split the money amongst all the women and not given a dime to Chase U and let them fold.
I mean, I'm assuming it's part of. There's something about her wanting to corrupt Thea. That's her game right now. That's what's important to her. So that was part of her game. Like, I'll make enough money to save Chase U. And now she's just making money off the calendars. They established tonight they've sold out like 3 or 4 times or something. So she already paid off Chase U's debt. So she is the one making the money off this now.
True. And so like exactly like I said, she's just in it for the money now. But I don't think this is going to lead to a Thea Hale full heel turn. I think this is another one of those
a Luke Skywalker moment.
Well, maybe, but no, I think it's just same thing we were just talking about with Roxanne Perez. They tried the heel gimmick with Thea Hale, and it just wasn't connecting the way that they wanted it to. I think this is going to lead to her splitting from JC Jane and going back to being a true blue Chase U through and through kind of gimmick.
You think she'll go back to Chase U after this? You don't think she'll do something different that's going to break out on her own?
I think she's still going to be under the Chase U banner as long as Chase U is there. I think that in itself, if they wanted to call up Andre Chase, Riley Osborne, Thea Hale, and Duke Hudson all at the same time as a stable, I think they would work well on the main roster. Yeah, but I think as far as NXT goes, I think because Thea really felt kind of bummed that JC still wasn't on board with the Chase U thing. And even just the slander towards Fallon Henley, which I felt disrespected at the disrespect towards Fallon Henley. How dare you?
I agree.
But yeah, I think this is going to wind up turning into a stand and deliver match. JC's gonna split off, and Thea's gonna have Chase U in her corner, and it's gonna lead to this big hurrah moment at Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, and I can't believe I care enough to ask the question that's actually about to come out of my mouth.
Oh, do it.
But why do you think they decided to not pursue a relationship between Thea Hale and Riley Osborne?
I think they will. I think this is still going because she acknowledged that. Oh, speaking of acknowledge, thank you guys for playing along. She looked so dejected at the fact that Riley specifically told her that he liked her for who she was and not who she is. I think that's going to be one of the bigger factors heading into Stand and Deliver too, that they're going to have some conversation and it's just going to open her mind up to everything that JC's been saying and doing. And that's going to be the catalyst for, I don't know if it's going to be Jasmine Nix, pushing Thea out of the way or something, and then JC taking her side or what, but it is going to come to a head in the next few weeks, I bet.
Can I ask you a question? Did he break up with her off screen? Was it on text?
It was via text. Yeah,
it was off screen, but it sounded like it was in person.
Oh, I thought it was via text for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay, because I was going to say that could, because there's either two things.
I think she said he texted her.
Yeah,
because if he texted her.
Oh,
if he texted her, then
because I think the segment started, she was like, they would talk, because remember they were like, oh well, we don't text first, and she was like, actually no, I did, and he said this.
True. But I mean, like this specific conversation happening over text though.
Yeah.
Like did he break up with so he broke up with her over text? So what y'all are saying? So from what y'all are saying, if JC Jane is trying to turn Thea into, she's trying to do the Palpatine thing. Could she not have sent the text herself?
Absolutely.
She would need Riley's phone, which if
because otherwise
pretending to be in Chase U, then that would give her access.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he got written off TV, and that's fucked up.
We'll see.
This guy got a great showing in the breakout tournament. Yeah, fuck that guy.
So here's how we'll know. If he's not on TV, obviously that's how they write him off, which is kind of shitty if they do. But if they do the kind of obligatory vignette where he's either seen to be allegedly kissing either JC Jane or Nix to infuriate Thea Hale further, that's how we'll know he's not being written off TV. He's just going to become a pawn, though, temporarily in the feud, I think, with Hale and JC Jane.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, hey, if that's the feud that you want to push, then, that's how it's got to be. He'll get his time to shine, I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I got nothing to add. I agree with CJ, though. I think she goes back to Chase U. Like, it's certain times when somebody's trying to coax you into being a heel, like, they'll say something to you, and then you'll ponder it. At the end of the segment, when she started shitting on Chase U, it didn't look like Thea was like agreeing with anything she was saying. It looked like she was like perturbed by it. Like, hey, like, whoa, you kind of like bugging
I like
here.
Those guys. Like,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And plus with the signs that him saying that, hey, I like you the way you used to be. I think she goes back, man. I don't think she signs with JC at all.
And when Kiana James and Izzy Dame walked out, I was half expecting that to be Andre Chase and Duke Hudson.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, so we will hop forward to our next match on the card. We had Dijak taking on Luca Crusifino. Guys, they changed Luca's music.
Did they?
Yeah,
I didn't notice.
It wasn't the like Judge Judy that dun 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 dun. Like it was completely different. I am livid. Like what? This is a travesty. I don't know the last time I was this mad at wrestling. Probably when they weren't booking Daniel Bryan in the main event of WrestleMania 30 before they changed route and did it. That's the last time I was this angry.
Time I was that angry at wrestling.
I'm angry. But otherwise, solid match though. Quick match. Dijak picks up the win in about 3 minutes and 30 seconds via Feast Your Eyes. After the match, we had Joe Gacy escaped from whatever weird bunker prison Dijak had him in that apparently Luca had access to. Luca just showed up and said, "Hey, man, this is illegal, but I'm not going to call the police or anything." Like, I feel like, no, he should be disbarred. This is problematic. He should be disbarred.
It's a huge miscarriage of justice, really.
Yeah, it really is. It absolutely is. This is, you know what? This is the kayfabe moment of the night. This is the miscarriage of justice. Somebody called the police. We need to bring this back when people call the police over wrestling, thinking a crime actually occurred. He needs to be disbarred. But gentlemen, sorry.
I'm not going to call the police, but we could have a match, though.
I mean, Paul Heyman brought the NYPD with him on Monday, and you saw how that turned out.
The NYPD that were suspended.
It just so happened to look like NXT talent.
Right. The one and I swear that one dude, he looked like he was like fucking like 17 or 18 years old. He did not look old. He didn't look like a grizzled vet of the LAPD.
He literally just like they handed him his badge and it's like, oh, by the way, you're going to Raw.
Right. It's like, oh shit. All right, we go. But you know, it's interesting. You know, Crusifino's getting some TV time. You know, got a little shine in there. But you know, it's just he was religious there just to give Dijak a win and continue. You know, Dijak's feud with Gacy going forward. You know, it's interesting to see. I'm wondering if you know, Gacy's going to make the straitjacket part of his permanent attire. Like maybe take one of the straps off. Like, I don't know. They're doing some wild shit with him right now. I feel like week to week, it's kind of just like almost like the spaghetti effect. It's like, let's cook a handful of noodles, throw it against the wall and see what sticks. That's
I did have to kind of laugh at the fact of he found it more of a priority once he got out to just head to the arena, head to the ring, not get the straight jacket all the way off, but like he got off enough that he had a free arm and it looked like he was whipping Dijak with the straps.
Yeah.
At one point. So
that suggests that the weird prison-y holding cell that Dijak had him in is somewhere in that building, which makes it very like V for Vendetta. You know, the holding cell was all the ruse. It's right.
Like, what kind of pro wrestling school has a holding cell in their basement?
Right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, hell, Bo Dallas one time said
a wrestling school built by Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
God damn it. I'm going to lock Ted Turner in there.
And I mean, technically, Stu Hart.
Yeah, okay, well, that's fair. That's fair.
Don't get me started on Stu Hart taking young boys into the dungeon and stretching them out, quote unquote. Don't get me fucking started, man.
Yeah. Phrasing. Man,
I was about to jump in and defend my Canadian brethren in the Hart family, but it's like, yeah, no, the way you phrased that, I got to tiptoe around that line too.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious.
Now, the other thing with this match, too, afterwards, we see Luca Crusifino attacking Dijak with the hidden crowbar that the D'Angelo family uses. So it does further the association between them, especially after this match in the next segment when when you see Tony and Stacks in the back, and he says, "Get him for me." I want to talk to him. So
I like that. I like that for him. I think it would be a nice way to give him something to do, kind of help get him over, because the family's over. The family's cool. Like, I enjoy it. Like it's a little like little tip Sopranos, like little little tongue in cheek. I enjoy it. Like they're even like the vignettes, like in the restaurant stuff. They always make me smile. Like some of the Chase U shit, I find annoying. Some of it's entertaining, but a lot of it I find kind of aggravating. I always find the family fun. Like, there's something about it. Also, like, I don't know why. Like, my mom didn't like a whole lot of pro wrestling stuff. I don't know why that's something she would have liked. Like, she was a big Sopranos fan. I just showing her that, she would have thought it was fucking funny. But like, so I like the way that they're going to interject him into that, because hey, you need a lawyer to keep your proceedings clean. Kind of make him like a better Call Saul kind of character.
Yeah. They jumped on my radar. They jumped on my radar with Tony D'Angelo when he was like in prison. That's when I first came back to start watching NXT. I was like, what is this? I was like, what is this? But this is dope. Like, I like this. So I'm from New York, so I know Italians and stuff like that. He plays it well, man. I ain't gonna hold you.
That was a long angle too. That whole prison was like 3 or 4 months. Like, it was wild. Like,
he did a whole bit.
That's right when I was getting back into NXT too. That's funny. Man. Like,
almost as much prison time as Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, just hard times change a man. Hard times. What the big boss man promised. If you ever take a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia. That's my favorite thing about that song, is the opening lyric. If you ever take a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia. I don't think I'm going to. Like, I can't imagine why I would find myself in Cobb County, Georgia. But if I do, I will respect the law and order and read the signs. I think that was the lyrics. But yeah, I've driven through Georgia. I think, like, I've had to have gone to Louisiana. Did I go through Georgia? I don't know. I'm bad with geography. I'm an American. We're terrible with it. Anybody watching around the world, that's the facts. We're terrible with geography here.
That's not exclusively for the United States either. North America, I would say, because I'm Canadian and I've lived in the same province for over 25 years, and I can't even think of how to get to some of the more rural communities that are literally like an hour's drive away.
Fair enough. Right on. Yeah. I love Google. Guys. If I didn't have Google Maps, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah, same.
God, do you like, people used to have to bring physical paper maps with them on road trips? Can you imagine?
It's mind blowing.
I remember printing out things from like Yahoo Maps and MapQuest. I'm 38, y'all. It's been a wild ride. I had a Garmin. It's been crazy. It's new technology all the time. All right, sorry, I digress. We'll get this train back on NXT here. We had a quick backstage segment with Noam, Dar, and Mensa. Kelly Kincaid walked in, scared the crap out of Dar, choked on his water there. He seemed nervous as hell all night tonight. He talked about how well Jackson and Legend were doing, and they brought up the catch clause with the no quarter catch crew, which, by the way, I think is a pretty cool gimmick. And we're going to talk about whether or not that might have an effect on something that happened tonight later. But we'll talk about the no catch clause a little bit later. But real quick backstage segment. Anything on that before we move on?
No, we'll talk about more in the main event match.
Fair enough. So we had Lyra Valkyria make her entrance for a promo. She gave a quick, very Wonder Woman-esque look tonight for her. But she gave a quick shout out to Shotzi, wishing her a quick recovery, which I agree with. Like, that was a nasty spot there, and hopefully as quickly as recovery. I felt so bad for her. I did too. Like she was just starting to pick up a little bit of steam again, and bam. But hopefully she returns quickly. But she brings out her good pal, kind of creepy, might be the killer in the next Scream, Tatum Paxley, and tell her that they've got a tag title match next week with the Kabuki Warriors, which, hey, I think is going to be a pretty good match. I don't see a title change happening. But gentlemen, what do you think they're doing here with the story between the two women?
I think it's just setting up for Stand and Deliver. I think they're just that's going to be the women's championship match is Tatum Paxley versus Lyra Valkyria. I think it's good that they're using the opportunity to bring the women's tag titles down to NXT again. I don't think there's going to be a time where we see NXT superstars holding those titles again, though, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I think this is basically just to set us up for Stand and Deliver. The whole like, oh yeah, the match didn't go our way, so that means this whole friendship is out the window and I'm just going to attack you now. I think that's probably how this is going to go.
Yeah, I agree. I don't. It's a little weird, like her character. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of towing the line, because when they were doing the promo today, I was like confused if she was like obsessed with her, like she feel like she's a star, or she's obsessed with her because she's in love with her. So it's kind of like a weird angle the way they're talking to each other. But I agree with him. I just think it's just to get the Stand and Deliver.
Right on. All right. So they were interrupted by Ridge Holland, which I thought was kind of a weird way to bring him out for his promo time. But hey, it is what it is. Ridge came out, continued the I'm Ridge Holland, woe is me tour of NXT, talking about how, when others use chairs, it's okay, and they're cheered. But if I do it, I'm ridiculed and I'm a terrible human being, blah, 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 blah. Until he is attacked after a quick blackout promo there. And with a very surprise return, I had no idea. I didn't see this coming. I had no rumblings of this. Shawn Spears, guys. And they called him Shawn Spears. Not Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger is no more.
Guess what? Did either of you hear any rumblings of a return like this tonight?
It's funny. Like, I saw the video that got posted in our hosts group chat on Facebook, and Johnny Gargano was down there tonight, and I thought we were going to see him on NXT, but nope, it just a red herring, just Johnny being Johnny, hanging out in NXT. I was also very surprised to see Shawn Spears in NXT, especially not Ty Dillinger. Like, we had talked about this before we went on the air. Like, the habit had always seemed to be that WWE was going to honor their own history and not so much on the indie scene unless it benefited them. So if they're bringing the Shawn Spears chairman persona, that makes sense if he's going after Ridge Holland and talking about chairs and all this other stuff. But no, this was a complete out of the blue. I was not expecting Shawn Spears. I was all like, in general, I wasn't expecting him, but I also wasn't expecting him to be the guy behind the weird character promos. Like, I don't know, the promo that he cut a little bit later on in the show, where he teased being at Roadblock, even that felt weird. Like, I don't know if it's just they're gonna try a character, see how it works, but also because of just how over Ty Dillinger was with NXT and on SmackDown, and even the 10 chance that he was getting in AEW. Like, it feels like they kind of the same thing that I equate to LA Knight being renamed Max Dupree. It doesn't, like, they had a fire gimmick. I don't know why they feel the need to do the spaghetti method, throw shit at the wall and see what sticks, when they really don't have to. Like, I'm all for Shawn Spears, but I don't know. It just feels weird that they would go so far from the 10 thing.
Yeah.
Hey, my bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say maybe they get to that eventually, because what I've noticed about WWE, especially like on commentary, while I listen to commentary, they don't ignore who you were in other companies anymore. So it's like, okay, well, we could just bring him back here and he's just Ty Dillinger again, or we could bring him back as Shawn Spears, because since they're acknowledging, your history in other companies now, and that's not persona non grata, you could bring him back and transition him back into the Ty Dillinger, or keep him as Shawn Spears if that's who we want to be, and try to integrate the 10 Chance into this character. So that's where I kind of see them going with it. I wouldn't look too far into it right now, but I think he'll end up being that, but still be Shawn Spears at the same time. I think it's a character development thing, or why he wasn't immediately Ty Dillinger.
But that's what I mean. Like the character promos that were airing and just the overall promo that he cut afterwards, it's such a departure character-wise from the Ty Dillinger and the Shawn Spears that we saw. So that's the part that I was not sure about, why they were going a separate direction. They could have given this gimmick to anybody and tried to make it work. I don't know that it had to specifically be Shawn Spears.
Right.
But
because I didn't expect it to be him for sure. Like,
yeah.
But
no, like you could have given me 30 names and none of them could have been Shawn Spears, and I'd have believed any one of them. But that's what I mean. Like it's the character of this new Shawn Spears in NXT that, same thing I've been saying all night, really. I'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Right. And I feel like
they were chanting 10 before he pulled down his hood, though, too.
Yep. Yeah, so the chants are going to follow him. It's going to be like the old late chants for Sami Zayn. He's never going to outrun him. They're always going to be there, always. But sorry, so moving forward, we had Lexis King taking on Von Wagner with Mr. Stone in a singles match. The children were not present.
Come on, Shawn, really? With the Come Tuesday? Come on.
Always.
One other thing that he just can't escape.
That and what are you doing with those sunglasses on? You're inside.
Oh, Lordy. Yes, but Von Wagner and a quick match here. Just about 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Wagner picks up the win with a leverage. Woof. Man, they were protecting Lexis King there for a little while, but doesn't really feel like that's happening now.
Well, I think they really just needed to give Lexis King a reason to attack him after the match and attack Robert Stone. I feel like that's the big thing with this angle, is they're just getting Robert Stone out of his managerial role and into a more regular competitive role. So I think once Lexis King moves on from this, he's going to be on to something that's actually going to benefit him instead of somebody else.
Now, do you think that Lexis King wins this feud overall as like kind of a singles feud, and that moves Stone and Wagner into like the tag division together?
I don't know. Because, I mean, like, part of me even just wants to think that they are going to wind up, like they could have a tag team career. But I don't know. I have this feeling that they're going to split them up somewhere down the road, and we're just going to see Von Wagner, whether it's called up to the main roster on his own or still staying in NXT on his own. It feels like they're headed for a split. I can't shake that feeling for some reason.
No. All right. So I had a backstage segment. Valkyria and Paxley were in the backstage locker room. They do a lot of segments in the women's locker room now. I feel like, again, it's hick and bottom high. Love it. Shout out to Soup. That's his term there, right? That was Soup. That was Soup's term, right? That was his.
Yeah.
So hick and bottom
that was a week
high,
that you were gone, actually.
Yeah, it was a week I was gone. Yeah, because when you said it when I was back, I was confused. It's fantastic. That needs to be on a T-shirt. Hick and bottom high. But they were back there talking about, ready to, whoop some ass in their match with the Kabuki Warriors. And Ariana Grace seems to be having a new little leaf or facet to her character, looking for pacifism in professional wrestling. Going to be interesting to see where this is going here.
Super annoying.
I mean, they did the same thing with Joe Gacy when he debuted, and that didn't last long either. So I don't know why they feel like they need to push pacifism in wrestling, but I feel like it's just a further feud with Gigi Dolan.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because I thought it was weird because Lyra's a babyface champion, right? It was weird for the babyface champion to be like, what are you talking about? We wrestle, like we fight. That's what we do. Like, what do you mean?
But it still makes sense for her character, though. Like, she's the champion, you know? Yeah. She's the one that has to take on all comers. She has to fight.
Yeah.
Right, we had Dijak arguing with Ava backstage, and another tag with him and Gacy. Keeps happening. Setting up, they will be having a match next week. They announced a little bit later in the show. But Ava's mad. Ava was in, I said this before the show, in our little, we'll call it a production meeting. Makes it sound fancy, guys. Makes it sound like we're super high.
Like we're professionals.
Exactly. But yes, I'll say. But Ava was in a ton of segments right now. Tonight, I don't have the exact count, but I feel like she was in at least like 5 or 6 segments. And again, I'm going to say what I said then. Rock's on the board. So, you know. And CJ.
Yeah, because I mean, like, it doesn't feel like Nick Aldis and, I'm blanking on Adam Pearce's name. Yeah. It doesn't feel like they get as much TV time as Ava's been getting the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to think it's because
this much.
I don't want to believe it's genuinely because her dad's on the board. Like, it feels like they are taking a tack with the general managers thing, and it just happens to get highlighted more in NXT just because of roster depth. And I hope that it's not because her dad's The Rock, but we'll see how long this GM role lasts for her.
She needs to get less stiff. She needs to get less stiff during these promos. If she's going to be on TV and on this camera this much, she has to start to loosen up and has to start coming across more natural. Like, it's just there's just something wooden, something very like just disingenuous about the way she carries herself on TV. Like, it's a shame that, you know, charisma is apparently not a genetic trait. Oh,
especially
CJ, you're out.
Family.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But like, they got to do something. Like, CJ, you say it all the time. You said it tonight, but like, do they have acting lessons down there? Like improv classes, something.
How they don't have an acting coach on the teaching roster at the Performance Center is like, I hope they do.
WWE,
they don't get enough work.
They spent so long under Vince hiring Hollywood writers. You know, folks that have worked for SNL, that wrote scripts for different movies and TV shows and stuff.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Right. Like, you'd think that they would have gotten some acting coaches in there over the years. Yeah. But no, apparently not.
Well, not for everybody, at least. Like, Roman Reigns, I think, had to have taken some sort of acting classes before he came back as the tribal chief. Like, I'm still blown away at how much he has improved since his No Mercy promo with John Cena, where he just fell flat on his face and Cena just pushed him further into the dirt.
Suffering succotash.
Yeah. It doesn't even need to be like anything super in depth. It just needs to be better than what we're seeing.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I definitely agree about the Roman point. I caught that too. Like I noticed, like when he came back from doing a movie, he just seemed different. Like his facial expressions are different. His ring awareness is different. The way he talks to the crowd is different. And I figured, like, maybe I never knew they didn't have acting coaches. I thought that's something that they had. Because it seems like it would benefit them. Because to me, it seems like when I see wrestlers go off and do a movie, they seem to come back and their mic skills are a lot better, and who they are, their characters a lot better than who they were before. So it's weird they don't have that until.
He actually did go take an acting class, but it's like a real acting class, like in LA. Mm-hmm. So like you have to have the time, as he was off. He was off he had leukemia at the time. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. He was filming Hobbs and Shaw while he was off.
Yeah, he did get to do that. Had all the conspiracy theorists going crazy, but he did get to go do those classes. And you notice when he came back, it was perfect for him because it was a pandemic, and he got to express those skills, and he got to whisper and talk real low so that everybody has to listen to the tribal chief. You know, all this stuff that you learn in day one improv class. So I thought, like you said, like you guys are saying, if they're so intent on putting on a television show where the wrestlers have to read scripts then they should probably give them acting classes.
Yeah, this would be a good idea.
It does not cost very much to get a guy in the PC once a week, you know?
Right.
You're in Florida. There's acting coaches galore down there. I guarantee
absolutely. it. Absolutely. But that will move us to our next match of the night. We had Gigi Dolan taking on Ms. Jada Parker. Jada Parker picks up the win here in 4 minutes and 42 seconds with a running forearm.
I hate to be this guy, but I refuse to believe that the person that booked this match didn't know exactly what the fuck they were doing. These women have been getting a lot of attention for the same particular reason recently, and seeing them come into the ring together actually busted out a "Thank You Jesus" chant. So,
look, here's the thing. I think Gorilla Monsoon used to say this. They had to reinforce the ring for this one.
Thank you, Shawn.
HBK, we love you, buddy.
I'm not going to stop you guys from having these conversations, but I have to at least protest. Like, Gigi Dolan has had a phenomenal few years in NXT with her tag team title runs. Jada Parker knocked it out of the park last week. So the fact that they're getting to showcase their talents in the ring, their actual wrestling talents in the ring, is because they're putting in the work.
Sure.
Agreed.
But that also busted out a "Thank You Jesus" chant, and it wasn't because of the work that they're doing in the ring. So I mean, we can acknowledge both things. They don't take away from each other. As a matter of fact, in this business, image is about 50% of what's going to get you over. So that's a great thing that they have the image to get this point. And I hope that Jada continues to develop, and I hope to see Gigi Dolan doing something a little more significant, as she kind of fell behind JC Jane fairly a lot faster than I ever thought she would.
Yeah, well, I definitely thought Gigi was going to be the... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, it looks like she's going heel as well. Like I think the babyface push for Dolan's pass looks like I feel we're heading back a heel path with her. So
not if she's starting a program with Ariana Grace.
You don't think so?
No, I think...
You don't think the audience is going to find this pacifist and gimmicks? So, like, this feels like a way to turn Grace heel. Like, who's going to cheer someone who's like, don't fight? It's pro wrestling.
No,
like,
exactly. That's what I mean. Like, she's starting this... Like, she's starting this program with Gigi Dolan, so I don't see Gigi turning heel if she's going against a pacifist wrestler.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Especially one that already has a solid gimmick in Ariana Grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gives me right to censor vibes. I didn't like it. I just didn't like the don't fight. She gives me right to censor vibes. But I like Jada Parker's character, man. It's believable. Like, if you're from the hood, man, like, this is kind of from my hood guys, man. Like, if you're from the hood, Jada Parker is really, really believable, man. Just the way she carries herself, the way she talks during the ring, the way she wrestles. I'm feeling this character on Jada Parker. I really am. She fine too, but I'm feeling the character.
Well, and she's a good addition to the OTM. Like, it's given them a little bit of what we were saying a few weeks ago, how we didn't feel like they had a lot of direction, and I think this is kind of giving them a shot of adrenaline as a group as well.
Yeah.
I just about Jada Parker, man. I'm from the hood too. Like, I'm from the Bronx, and I had this conversation.
You're from New York, that's what's up.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I had this conversation before.
You get it, John.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
That's what I was gonna say about the OTM thing, which is crazy because Scripps has like a real past, like he really was a Crip and whatever. But the OTM thing on television, it comes across like, I'm sorry guys, but it comes across like it was written by an old white man.
Yeah,
you know, so
does.
like
it does.
So when
Road Dogg is in NXT,
you know, like it comes across like it was written by Road Dogg, you know. So there's just a certain energy, and I think in pro wrestling history all the way through, you don't get that energy from a lot of people. Like, you look back and you think like New Jack, like, and then it takes a long time before you can find somebody else, you know. Jada got that. She got a swagger about her. She got a charisma about her that's just natural. It's natural, and it speaks to a whole nother audience. It speaks to me. It speaks to our side of the world. Like, I'd like to see her develop to get a significant spot on TV, because that's exactly the kind of person you want to have, because they're gonna be shared on a shade room. They're gonna be shared on all the other media, like Jade Cargill was for AEW before when she was on television. She was getting that kind of attention. So that's perfect. I love to see Jada Parker get this on television.
Yeah, Jada reminds me of who I wanted if they were to turn Bianca Belair like heel. Mm-hmm. That's who I think Bianca would be. You know what I'm saying? But Jada's already that, so it's like, oh my bad. Am I still here?
Yeah. We hear you. We hear you. Yeah.
Okay, my mic is funny. My bad. But yeah, like if they were to turn Bianca Belair heel, that's who Jada Parker is. So it'd kind of be weird if they ever turn Bianca heel and they just kind of bring up Jada at some point. Because I honestly, if you wanted to bring up Jada fast, I would rather see her with the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley other than B-Fab, because the B-Fab thing is a little weird to me too. But the way Jada Parker is, man, she got a good gimmick. She need to continue what she's doing for real.
Yeah, she does it well. She got a really good handle on her character, and it surprised me that Scripps had the connection. Like I don't picture Reggie as a gang member, I don't, but like if he does genuinely have that past, then he's a good actor. Like he should be doing the acting classes,
the coaching
down at the Performance Center.
Right, but moving on, we had a quick vignette with a "See You Soon" with the Roadblock logo. What we thinking, Sol Ruca?
Sol Ruca, baby!
Sol Ruca.
I am so fucking hyped for this next week. Like I thought she was the biggest standout star. I'd say even bigger than Nikita Lyons. She has an incredible moveset. She's got a lot of in-ring talent, and her injury came at the worst possible time. So hopefully she still is able to carry a lot of that momentum that she had before into this this second. I don't even want to say second chance, because like she didn't burn her first chance. She just got injured. Yeah, but right. I'm really looking forward to seeing her come back and really highlight what she can do.
Absolutely.
Who would you want to see her with? Like, who would you want her first program to be with?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what? Jada Parker. I think they could have a lot of good match. I think they could have a good series together for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah. All right. So they announced quickly that Dijak and Gacy will have an Asylum match next week. I'm not quite sure what that means.
It reads to me like Monsters Ball.
Okay.
Like seeing the background with what looks like the steel cage fence and then all the weapons in the background. It feels
not
very
the Halle Berry movie. Not the Halle Berry movie.
This has actually happened on WWE television once before. It was
Dean
Chris
Ambrose
Jericho
and Chris
versus
Jericho.
Dean Ambrose with Mitch the Plant.
And that's literally all it was.
It
was a steel cage match with weapons hanging off the cage, right?
It kind of sucked, but here's hoping for the best this time.
I will give NXT credit as far as taking match types that shouldn't work and finding a way to make them work. Like if they would have done a championship scramble match in NXT, I think we would still see those matches to this day.
Yeah.
Respect the scramble match. Respect the scramble match.
I bought that Unforgiven pay-per-view.
The Brian Kendrick is a former WWE champion for 3 seconds.
And he's got the lower third to prove it.
Thanks to that damn scramble match. Bring it back.
Oh, God.
Oh, jeez. Oh, guys, so real quick, before we get into the main event here, my buddy texted me back. So it was a house show. Jim Duggan was tagging with Kamala. They were the face team. They lost. Duggan blamed Kamala for the loss and got a little, pushy and, kind of talked him down and stuff and was very mean to Kamala after. but they didn't pursue it.
Racist Jim Duggan is something they probably should not have pursued. But
Agreed.
But the ultra American turning out to be a racist probably would be really appropriate if they did it today. So you know what?
Well, I mean, we have Hulk Hogan, so
thank you. That was literally what I was gonna say. Beat me to it.
All right, but yeah, so it was Jim Duggan. But yeah, so moving on, we had Noam Dar with Noah Mensa and no one else from the Jesus Christ.
From Metaphor?
Thank you. The name just fell right out of my damn head for the Metaphor out there with him. Taking on, ended up being Charlie Dempsey, which I was excited as soon as they announced it was Charlie Dempsey. And I was pulling from the kid from Go. And we'll talk about the match here as a whole in a moment. We will go ahead and say that we have a new Heritage Cup champion tonight in Charlie Dempsey. Fantastic match from start to finish. Guys, I'll let you take over here and take the first swing of this, but what did you think of tonight's main event?
Oh, such a good match. Like, when they said Charlie Dempsey was the one taking it, that was my cue of like, okay, yeah, Charlie Dempsey's winning the Heritage Cup. His stint down in All Japan must have really impressed NXT people, because it feels like they are going to make him the star of the group, which I'm perfectly fine with. Like, No Quarter Catch Crew is a really great group. Like, they're so well rounded. They are the BCC of NXT. Shout out William Regal. And the fingerprints are all over it, and they are going to execute it so well. The no quarter clause, or the catch clause, coming into effect in this match. Do we see it happening with cup defenses?
See, as a question, is it going to be like a Freebird rule in a way? You know?
Yeah, because I heard them say at the end of the match that they could all be champions. It's not just him. So
Vic Joseph said we have a new champion, or should I say champions? Yes. So they haven't said officially one way or the other. I'm hoping for some clarification next week. NXT's pretty good about that, so hopefully they will say one way or the other. But
maybe they won't, and then the next Heritage Cup match we see is just going to be, for whatever reason, Damon Kemp stepping in.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. A couple weeks ago, I said if one of the members of the No Quarter Catch Crew won the cup, I'd like to see them just kind of trade it around internally for a while. Just kind of make it like almost
they just have matches against themselves.
Exactly. Like, why the hell not? They'd be some banger matches. Good way to, because here's the thing. This is live WWE television. We got probably not 52 weeks a year, but 50 probably weeks a year that they have to have live programming, and they have to have a match or a main event. And a Heritage Cup match, that's a great main event, any night of the year for NXT television. But they have to have all these main events. Hell, you can fill 3 months with No Quarter Catch Crew matches for the Heritage Cup. Just like,
but can you do that if they're under the Freebird rule? Because if you have Miles Bourne versus Drew Gulak for the cup, does Charlie Dempsey still lose the cup if he's not in the match?
I would think if you're going the angle I'm saying where you haven't traded kind of internally, they wouldn't be able to have that kind of Freebird policy. It would just have to be his.
Yeah. Because technically it's not.
Which, I mean, names. I'm fine with either option. Whether it's 3 months of No Quarter Catch Crew singles matches, or just Freebird against the full NXT roster, I'm fine either way.
Right. Either way, I think we're for some really good matches going forward with them.
Yeah. What do y'all think they do with Noam from here, though? Because it's like his character is kind of built around that cup.
Yeah. So and he looks sad walking in the ring too. Did y'all pick up on that? Like, I kind of picked up on that. I'm like, I think he's losing. Like, it reminded me of, like, I think it was like 2000, like, I don't know, like 9. It with Randy Orton and John Cena at SummerSlam, and I thought going into it like Orton was going to win, and then as soon as Orton walked to the ring, I'm like, his facial expression, he ain't winning this match. Like, that's how Dar looked. It was like, I was excited. I wanted Dempsey to win, but like he kind of tilted his hand there a little bit, I think, walking to the ring. But I don't know, maybe like some sort of tag act with him and Mensah.
That could be it. Like, I would love to see them challenge for the tag title somewhere down the road. And just to kind of bring it back to the idea that Noam knew he was going to lose. You had mentioned, Tyler, in the promo earlier in the night that he even felt a little sad in that promo. So if he is just a bad actor and can't hide his disappointment that he's losing his match, then, that'd be one thing. But we do see like we have seen his on-screen presentation completely revolve around holding on to the NXT Heritage Cup. So are we going to see a, no, you're not champ, I'm champ rerun? Or is this are we going to see Noam move on to something else?
Yeah, It's hard. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, you're right. Like, his character has been so heavily tied to this title.
Yeah, that's what I thought about when he lost it. I was like, damn, because it's dope to see Noam in a good position again. You know what I'm saying? I love the Alicia. Great match. Yeah, I love the Alicia Fox angle. I always thought he had amazing matches on 205. So it was dope to see him here. It was just like when he lost the cup, I was just like, I kind of felt sad too. Like, like damn, like you're going to have to reinvent yourself like again now. Like, so yeah.
All right, so anything else on tonight's main event, gentlemen?
Actually, I did. That first pin in the Heritage Cup match was gorgeous. Like the roll up into, I guess, what would that be? Like, is that a bridge or is that like
bridge, I think.
Something above? Because it felt like I don't usually see a bridge like that though. Like that felt something further above that even.
CJ had an experience that it's further above everything. It's the most beautiful bridge he's ever seen.
Look, it was in heaven. I went back and watched that a couple times. Like, I was just like, that is a gorgeous pinfall. Like, that was executed tremendously, and I think that's a lot of what we're gonna see out of the No Quarter Catch crew.
Yeah. I mean, hey, he is his father's son.
But before we get on our jobber of the night, I just wanted to formally say goodbye to the Baron Corbin graphic here, as we will be bringing back the old school Gilski.
Yep.
Matthew,
Baron Corbin has been invited back into the locker room.
Thank you for your service, sir. You've been replaced. We're back.
We're back to the Gilberg.
We're back. It's jobber of the night time.
All right.
So tonight's jobber of the night, gentlemen. I went with Lexis King tonight. I just haven't really liked his presentation the last couple weeks. I don't know what the plan really is with him going forward. I feel like he's lost a bit of the momentum that he had, and hoping that he finds it going forward. But I just haven't been impressed the last couple weeks with him.
That's fair. You know what, Matthew, if you want to take it from here, go right ahead.
To be honest with you, Lexis King was my jobber of the night too. It's just, the build up that they had for him, they're not living up to it at all at this point.
And I like him a lot. I
like his character too. So it's like I'm waiting to see what they're going to do for him. He's getting pinned a lot. I'm sorry, my mic is crazy.
You're good.
We've been hearing you this whole time.
Am I back? Sorry about that.
Let's just say it's weird that he got killed by Femi the way he did, because it felt like an end of push match.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I felt that way last week. Like, I feel like his push is done right now, and I don't know why.
Yeah. He stepped on somebody's shoes.
Waiting until it could just be they want to give him a proper push after Stand and Deliver.
Maybe. Again, I always say wait and see. I always give them a wait and see. I try. I really, as a wrestling fan in general these days, I try my best to have a wait and see attitude with every angle when it first starts, because you never know where it's going to end up. And, in 3-5 weeks, we could be saying, holy cow, like this was a fantastic, like well thought out story. So, I like to, keep the faith. We got to be positive. It's pro wrestling. There's so much negativity in this, like, especially on the internet. We know this. We all do it a little bit ourselves every once in a while, but you got to try to stay positive. So I always hope for the best, especially with NXT. They swing hard. They swing wild sometimes. And, if you throw enough crazy punches, you're going to land one square in the nose. So, we'll see.
I always try not to judge NXT too harshly, because if that's the place,
developmental.
If that's the place where you're going to take them swings at, it's the perfect place to do it.
Exactly.
Well, and I know I've mentioned this on the NXT Rewind before. Like, I feel like that's their strength in a way, that they can have the less focus than the main roster, so that if something goes wrong, we can just ignore it and push through. And it's that optimism that I have that they're going to do something with Lexis King that is the reason he's not my jobber of the night. That honor instead goes to Ridge Holland. The fact that he has not done anything of merit as far as his newest NXT run. He's being presented as and again, like, the fact that they're still pushing this narrative in the face of actual legitimate injuries, the fact that Ridge Holland is, hurting people and being, reckless with chair shots or whatever. Like, I don't get it. I still want to wait and see, but I just don't have the faith that they're going to do anything, especially since they're going to want to build up Shawn Spears.
Yep, exactly.
Like,
he's not going to lose.
Yeah, like he's just going to lose another feud, and then what? Like, it feels like they're on a slow spiral. Like, the Brawling Brutes worked, and then they decided they wanted to make Butch Pete done again, and for some reason that didn't include Rich Holland in those plans. So hopefully they do something with him, but hopefully whatever it is, it's different than this.
Yeah, it's a very very sad sack character. Like, it's like it doesn't really work well as a functional heel, and it's certainly not a good way to be a baby face, to play feel sorry for me, like, you guys, treat me differently than everybody else. It's like, it doesn't work. Like I said, like, not a good face, and it's not a good heel gimmick. It's not strong. It comes across weak. And I mean, and he did get, like, his ass kicked by Spears too. So but he didn't look good at all. Didn't look good, and he hasn't looked good on this return. It's been kind of, and part of, like, pushing the gimmick of him hurting people. That's not his fault. Like, somebody else, pushed that. Now, maybe, and guys do or don't have the stroke to say things, but, like, you can always say no. But, like, it's hard to say no to being told you're going to be on TV. Yeah. Like, they're going to put you on TV doing something. You want to, be a good. At the end of the day, you're an employee there. You want to do a good job and do what you're told. But, like, that was a misguided gimmick. Like, a misguided is me being generous with that. But, like. So, and that's not really his fault, but, like, it just hasn't worked for him at all since he's been back. And this character's bad. It's like sad sack Corbin, but not funny.
Yeah, like we kind of mentioned even earlier with they don't know where this character's alignment is. Like, we talked about it earlier with Femi. The fact that Ridge Holland is coming out and interrupting Tatum Paxley and Lyra Valkyria, like, when they were mid-promo hyping a title match for next week, that wouldn't be good guy actions. And the presentation that we've seen so far, it feels like they're going to push Shawn Spears as the heel. So why do we cheer for Ridge Holland?
And I was annoyed by that too. I was annoyed by that, like, as a viewer. It's like, I don't really like Ridge Holland all that much anyway. I'm not a big Ridge Holland guy. But, like, I didn't like these because it is. Like, I feel like Lyra is more important as a character than Ridge Holland by far.
She's a champion.
She's a champion. Even if she didn't have the title, I feel like she's way higher on the pecking order than him. Yeah. And you're right, CJ. They're hyping a championship match with a main event act that has ties to the WrestleMania main event, So, well, I mean, one of the women's WrestleMania main events, but like, that's huge. They're hyping that, and he's going to come out and be all, woe is me. Nah, get out. Like, I don't want to see it. You're right. Jobber of the night, man. I agree.
I've been hearing that a lot tonight. I agree with CJ. I like how it sounds.
Yeah, see,
that's some good points tonight.
Yeah. But that will bring us up to the mega stars of the night. Gentlemen, I don't know where you landed on this, but I hit squarely at the boots of one Charlie Dempsey tonight.
That's fair. That was a hell of a match.
It was a hell of a match. Like, he looked like $1 million. Like, I'm sure you guys are the same. We have all been watching professional wrestling for a real long time. And, I'm always impressed with a match when I'm sitting here and I'm invested enough that I'm actually like physically reacting to the match. And that's what was going on with this. I'm verbally, saying about stuff like, come on, Dempsey, and like, cheering him on and like, moving with it. It's good. Like, and that's good. So it was great. I always enjoy when I can get invested in a character. So I got to make him my megastar of the night because he made me believe in something tonight. And I always got to be appreciative of any pro wrestler in, any match that can make me believe and, get that suspension of disbelief and be in that moment. And I don't know what William Regal's doing with him, but like, if he's training him personally, he's got to be. Kid's looking great. Like, and he's young and he's just going to get better from here. And sky's the limit for Dempsey.
I agree. And I agree with Tyler. I think Obafemi was going to be my megastar just based on his interaction with Ilja Dragunov in Ava's office. But no, Charlie Dempsey for sure earned megastar of the night. He looked like $1 million, and he's got the cup to prove that he's worth his stuff. And I see big things for him and the No Quarter Catch crew and the Heritage Cup going forward. Which is interesting because I didn't think much of the Heritage Cup when it started showing up on NXT. Like, I thought it was a good fit for NXT UK, but I didn't think that the British round style was going to be as well received in a American crowd as it has been.
Mm-hmm.
So props to Charlie Dempsey and props to Noam Dar for getting the Heritage Cup over on NXT too.
Absolutely.
Salute. Yeah, my megastar tonight is actually Obafemi.
All right.
Like I said, when that stare down happened, it was something that I wasn't expecting to see anytime soon. But as soon as it happened, I knew I needed the match. Right. Anytime you can do that for me, I already see the star potential in there. So I got Obafemi as my megastar tonight.
Right on.
Good pick.
Yeah, and again, like talking about like, another guy like that has absolutely no ceiling to his upside. Obafemi is just going to be a force to be reckoned with in professional wrestling for next 10, 15 years. Like, he's going to be huge in this business. Mm-hmm. He's so young. Actually, you gotta give me that 20 years. 20 years. He's like 25. He's got 25 years on his career. Like, and he's already so good on the mic. And that's such a big thing. Like, a lot of times, over history, we have dudes that are that built, they can't talk for shit.
Yeah.
And he's so good on the mic, which is fantastic. And it's not just that he's big, he can move, he can sell. He's good. He's going to be a world champion within a couple of years. He'll be main roster within 2 years. It's
that was going to be my question. How much time do we think he's actually going to spend in NXT?
I think he will be called up by WrestleMania 42. I think by that 2 years. So that'd be 2 years. I think it'll be within 2 years. I really do.
So typically what we see, the pattern that we've seen of NXT stars getting called up at the Royal Rumble, would you say he's a shoo-in for next year's Rumble?
To make an appearance?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I feel like they did that with, oh, goodness. shoot, there was one of the NXT women. They had her appear like a year or two prior to her getting her main roster bump. I can't remember who it was now offhand, but like I feel like that's a good way to introduce to the main roster. But yeah, absolutely. I think next year he could get one of those surprise NXT slots.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Well, hell, especially if they let him go on a really wild, Gunther-esque tear with the North American title, which hell they should, because they had that on the main roster for a long time. So they had a lot of eyes on the main roster. They know that belt exists. They know that Dom had it. They know that
Dragon Lee.
Thank you, Dragon Lee held it. So they take it seriously as a belt. They see Oba Femi come into the Royal Rumble. Commentary pushes it. Oh, he's had this NXT North American title for this crazy length of time. They're going to think he's a big deal immediately seeing him, even if they don't watch NXT at the time. So yeah, I think that'd be brilliant to just keep that strap on him and put him in the Rumble next year as a surprise.
So definitely not face off against Ilja anytime soon.
I mean, they could have Ilja, eke out a win. And I think Ilja, is starting to move into that phase of his title defenses where, like, he's winning, but it's, skin of your teeth kind of a win.
Can I say something that might be controversial? I think they have developed Ilja Dragunov to a point where he can actually beat Oba Femi with one of those H-bomb moves of his off the top rope, and I would have no problem believing
Fair
it.
enough.
There's also the fact that he exercises with like buses on his back. So like that's
like one arm push-ups and
like a train on each arm as he's doing pull-ups. Like he's a scary dude on his own. So I could believe this very scary, intense, smaller man could be Oba Femi.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got intensity, that's for sure.
To pivot slightly, if we're operating under the assumption that Trick is going to win at Stand and Deliver and be the new NXT champion, do we see Ilja getting called up after WrestleMania? Because it could be possible we don't even see the Ilja Femi match for a couple years until they're both on the main roster.
That's true. I mean, where do you put him on Raw or SmackDown?
I'd put him on Raw.
Okay.
I'd put him wherever Gunther's at.
Part of me wants to hold off on that match, even though I've been saying like Ilja would be a perfect contender to dethrone Gunther, especially if he does keep the title after WrestleMania. I want to see Ilja Gunther 3 so bad it hurts, but at the same time I'm like, I want to give Ilja the chance to shine on his own without fans like me being like, Ilja Gunther 3, let's go. Like, he has so much potential, but with the Netflix deal coming up, if they do bring him to the main roster, I think that'd be a lot of good star power for Raw and Netflix.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of like interesting fresh matchups he could have up there as well.
Oh God, Ilja and Chad Gable.
Oh my God, like yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing too. Like I still want Gable to be the guy to get the belt off of Gunther. I want that moment for him really badly. Like I think it would just be and he doesn't have to hold the title that long. Honestly, to be completely honest, he doesn't. Like it could go to Dragunov. That's how he can be a transition to Dragunov. But like just to have the moment. Because that's what WrestleMania is. It's the moment.
WrestleMania is about. It's about moments, right?
Like, and then he'll always be remembered for that big win at WrestleMania. And two, we've talked about this. Like, he can grab his daughter, parade around the ring. It'll be beautiful, man. We'll all be teared up. It'll be a fantastic weekend. It'll be emotional. But that match. Oh my God, him and Dragunov would just be paint on a canvas. Just fantastic.
Absolutely.
But gentlemen, it's been a fantastic evening of NXT discussion. Hey, you got some love from Canada.
Shout out to Canada. Love seeing that. Go Leafs.
Right on. But gentlemen, anything else on tonight's show?
It's weird that it's just coming to mind now, but going back to Von Wagner versus Lexis King, after the match, the sell that Robert Stone did for the, what does he call it? The crowning, I can't remember what Lexis King calls his finisher, but like Robert Stone almost went like catatonic in a sense, like his arm was like bent up in the air really weirdly, like it was a really weird sell.
Yeah, he's kind of a big dude, so like I think maybe that like factors into it a little bit. Just kind of awkward kind of landing for him. But again, we never found out if he fought those children.
I want to, like, if we ever get an answer on that, I feel like that has to be my last episode of the NXT Rewind. Like, we started, I think the Rewind started on that episode. Yep, it was one of the first for sure. So, like, that feels like the perfect bookend. Like, we just have to call it a night if we find out Von Wagner went down and fought some grade school children.
Right. Lordy.
God.
But gentlemen, anything else tonight?
No, I don't got anything.
Right. So, folks, let's go around quick before we sign off, and we'll tell all the good folks watching live as well, watching the replay, where they can find us and where they will see us next.
Go ahead, take it, Matthew.
Oh, you can catch me at 3NT Wrestling, coming soon to Dirt Street Radio on Sundays, actually. So you will see me more often up here, on there. Like I said, I appreciate you guys having me. Make sure you guys go check out that Danny Garcia interview that we put on YouTube today that we did with Daniel Garcia.
Hell yeah. Now, CJ Carter here as always on Tuesday nights. NXT Rewinds every Friday night on the SmackDown Rewinds with Sam Schluter and B. Ray Jones. And hopefully I will get around to doing and Thursdays Impact. That's what it was. TNA Impact Rewind shows now on Thursdays. I just started doing them last week, so that's why it's still so fresh in my head. But yes, I will be back here on DSR airwaves Thursday night talking TNA.
All right, and I am Tyler, the Pro Wrestling Hipster, at Pro Wrestling Hipster, across the board on Twitter, even though I don't really do a whole lot on Twitter anymore. I don't really do a lot on Instagram or Threads or Twitter. Most of my stuff's actually on Facebook, which is the Pro Wrestling Hipster. It's a lot of memes, working on some other content too, but it is a lot of memes. I apologize. But I'm here every Tuesday night talking NXT with these guys. Always a fun time. I'm also on Monday night, breaking down Raw with Caesar and Eduardo, which is always a fun time. Makes we take a 3-hour show and condense it into about an hour and a half, which, hey, that takes some speed and some skill. So we always have a good time with that. And hey, just little personal announcement. The next time I stream live for you guys, I will be a married man. So exciting news for me on that. So, yeah.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So Thursday the 29th, we're getting married on Leap Day because I got
incredible.
I told my dad that, and his response was, "Man, Todd, that's my dad's from West Virginia, by the way, so he's got the accent still." He's like, "Todd, that's genius. Leap Day. You're only going to have to buy her an anniversary gift every 4 years."
Yeah, well, good luck remembering it every 4 years. Oh, shit. It's leap year again.
It's leap year. Well,
that's the thing. Like, it's an election year. It's a leap year. So if there's an election, then
we've got a solar eclipse. Oh, God.
We got to make it to the next one first. Yeah.
Right? It's got a solar eclipse. It's wild. There's a lot going on right now. But yeah. So Thursday we'll be doing that. So
my invitation must have got lost in the mail.
Right, it's a long way from Canada,
Just roll one of those iPads on a screen over there and put us on just like this on StreamYard. It's familiar.
It is. We know it.
I still got this background behind me too.
It's just like you just put on a tux. I'm dressed. I'm here.
but not an actual.
I have a tuxedo
like,
T-shirt somewhere around here.
I won't turn on my camera. I'll just change the profile picture to somebody in a tux. I'm ready.
It's not even a different picture. It's literally just Bryan Danielson, that picture, and you've just like drawn a tux on in Microsoft Paint.
Yeah.
Right. It's in paint.
I bring no gift. I am the gift.
Good stuff.
Fantastic. But
how do we spend? Like, I'm looking at the counter in the top corner here. An hour 55. How do we talk almost for 2 hours about a 2-hour show?
Because we love this. It's pro wrestling. We love it. And I guess it's like, as much as I enjoy breaking down Raw every week, NXT is my favorite 2 hours of wrestling consistently every week. You know, I always love getting to talk about this, and that's why. Like, we spend a lot of time on almost every segment because almost every segment is worth talking about and spending time on. And that is, like, you know, a true testament to what they're doing down there. And, you know, that's why. You know, and that, you know, we get a little off the rails sometimes too, and that's just us having a good time. And I hope that the viewers at home always enjoy that too.
NXT goes off the rails sometimes too, so it works.
Yeah, there's some wild shit that they try down there. But hey, Matthew, man, it was awesome having you on tonight. You going to be with us next week or kind of semi-regularly here?
If you have me, I'll
hell
be
yeah,
here,
hell yeah, right on.
Hardest workers you'll know, man. I always got a camera in front of my face, man. I love to be here with you guys.
All right, hell yeah. Well, gents, it has been wonderful. We'll see you guys again next week, and everyone watching us live and on replay, thank you for Dirt Sheet Radio. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
Hell yeah.
Yeet.